Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, buddy. Hey, hope you all doing well. Hope you all had a great weekend, and we've got some great stuff to go through with today. This is what we're going to talk about today. Is probably my number one asked question, not only just from new real estate investors, but I also get a lot from a lot of other folks that are very experienced in real estate investing. I see a lot of it coming from folks that have gone the traditional financing route, how they're using bank financing. Um, DSCR loans, stuff like that, where they haven't had to go through the process of actually raising capital. They're basically using their own money, and that's fine, but it also eliminates them from doing things creatively and outside the box. Now, as we dive into this aspect of finding self-directed IRA investors, why do I focus on this niche of private investors versus just going out and knocking on doors or networking and stuff like that? Because I want to work smarter versus harder. I want to have intelligent conversations that speed up the process of getting people to invest with me and my deals, along with them, me not having to reinvent the wheel, teach it from start to finish, where they understand, where I'm literally talking with educated minds and educated investors. They understand the process, they understand it. So that goes to a much faster place to raise capital versus multiple drips, multiple trying to have to like literally show folks how the sausage is made. Look, these folks know how the sausage is made. They don't want to see it. They just want to eat it, right? And if you're a good Texas boy and you know how to make sausage, that's all that they care about, right? What's the percentage of pork and venison or venison beef, or you get what I'm saying? Pork chicken or chicken and apple, whatever your sausage flavor is here. Kale, and I don't know what goes with kale sausage, but I hope it never exists. But anyway, green hatch chili and pork. There we go. That would work very well here in Texas. But anyway, there's a couple things. If you don't know what a self-directed IRA is, I know I'm talking to folks that probably do, but a self-directed IRA is an individual retirement account that allows people to take their retirement accounts, their Roth, their traditional, their 401k, do a rollover into in one of these IRAs, either Roth or traditional, and they can roll it over to a self-directed IRA custodian or trustee that is set up to allow you, the real estate investor, to use that IRA account to go buy a piece of property, to go buy a note with it, to lend money out of your IRA to other real estate investors, private money, hard money lending, whatever you might want to do. If your IRA is with like a Chase Bank or Charles Schwab, they're going to call it self-directed because really every IRA account is self-directed. But when it comes down to self-directed at these big firms, big banks, big investment, it's only going to allow you to self-direct what they offer, like what kind of funds, what kind of money market accounts. They're not going to allow you to go to your Charles Schwab and say, hey, I need to take 50 grand out of my IRA and put it in a piece of property. They're going to tell you you can't do that. Well, that's right. You can't do it with them, but you can do it transfer in kind or roll it over to a company like Equity Trust or American IRA or somebody else and use those funds to then go buy a piece of property, to go buy a note, to perform in a non-performing, to go lend money out of it towards somebody and making a 10 to 12% or greater. Okay. Now, the easiest way to find people that have these IRA accounts is using the county records, but you shouldn't go to the county records, the appraisal district and the recorder's office, which will walk you through step by step. Okay. Don't go there just searching for people because you don't know their names, right? So when somebody uses their self-directed IRA, we'll just use to buy a rental property. Okay. First of all, they can't touch that property. They can't go out and fix it themselves. They can't go rent it themselves. I mean, they can rent it out to other people, but they have to use a third-party management. They can't use it for any type of benefit for themselves, their parents, siblings, or kids. It's the whole IRA Macarena. And we'll have a self-directed IRA expert on here in a couple of weeks, or in a couple episodes, actually, not a couple of weeks, to walk you guys through a little bit more so of that. Done some things. We've done some previous videos on that on our podcast as well. But the great thing is when somebody buys a rental property of their IRA, the investment has to be labeled specifically one way or two ways, depending on how it's structured, at the county records. So if I'm going to use my IRA with Equity Trust and I go out and I buy a rental property, well, the deed doesn't say Scott Carson or my LLC. What it says is Equity Trust for the benefit of FBO of Scott Carson IRA, or IRA number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's how it's usually. Now, if somebody uses their self-directed IRA and gets an IRA LLC, then it would be labeled in their LLC, and you're not going to know what that LLC name is unless you actually know what the heck it is, right? But the majority of people, when they're using their IRA, self-directed IRA from a Quest, an equity trust, or Quest is not around, but in Spirit, some others, Mountain View, Pensco Trust, stuff like that, it's going to be labeled in that company name, FBO, the investor's name. Now, this is a gold mine. This is a river of private money because you instantly know if somebody has a self-directed IRA and they've used it to pull the trigger on buying a property or lending money to their IRA to another investor, you know what? Well, duh, they're a real estate investor like you. Okay, that's a great thing. They're educated. Okay. Two, guess what? They're looking for deals. All right. They're looking for deals to fund usually. Three, they've pulled the trigger. Okay. So those three things right there means you don't, I mean, yes, you still need to educate them on your deal and the pros and cons and how it's going to turn out, but they understand real estate investing. The great thing in also being a self-directed IRA, it's got to be passive. All right. They can't be the active participant. So this is what makes it great for short-term lending, borrowing money from an IRA investor, buying notes with it. You know, that's one of my favorite niches is buying distressed debt, or use that money and lend it out, depending on what kind of return you want. Now, we're not going to get into the sales side of things of how do you negotiate a short or a lower interest rate. It's really a conversation with them. And when you find out that they've used their IRA to buy a piece of property, to buy a note, or funded another piece of property, it's a conversation you have. But we'll get to that because we don't want to put the cart before the horse, right? Let's get through the whole horse aspect of it, and we can talk about what you do in kind of reaching out to them. All right. And for those that are joining me live on here on Zoom, feel free to ask questions as we go through this. Just try to keep them relevant so we don't get sidetracked on this. All right. As I have a cup of coffee this morning. But I'm not joking. In literally the last week alone, I've probably answered this question for 7 or 8 people, anywhere from a new investor all the way up to somebody who's like trying to raise $5 million for multifamily. He's got a successful podcast, been a real estate investor for 20 years, but never knew about this, never thought about this. And he lives in Denver. These other people live in Dallas. Other people lived in Ohio and Milwaukee. All right. And I get it. It's easy to, if you can qualify for lines of credit and get to the bank, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. If you got your own funds, that's great. But at some point, you're going to run out of your own funds, right? You're going to run out of your own funds, and you need to put, if you want to continue doing deals, you need to raise private capital, okay, to keep that ball rolling. And honestly, using other people's money, if you don't have any of your own money into the deal, guess what? Your infinite rate of return, it far outpaces what they're making. Yeah, you're paying somebody 10, but if you're making a 12%, it's really not 12%. It's an infinite rate of return. You're paying them 10, the deal, and it's paying you 12. That's a 22% deal. That's a great thing. It's paying 12, and you are paying them 6. And you're getting into the other half of that 6. That's a great infinite rate of return to you because you have zero money into the deal. Now you're going to have some money tied. It may be a down payment, it may be earnest money, it may be servicing the property, it may be doing rehabs. I'm not going to get into that. Okay. Here's today's episode on how we find these all across the country. And we're going to start with Texas. All right. If you're listening to this outside of Texas, you can still follow along on the different websites we'll go through and search for yourself. Some states are non-disclosure, where if you type in a name like equity trust, it won't allow you to search by owner's name, and you have to search by the property address. Like states like California, Arizona, Washington State, and Oregon are non-disclosure. Minnesota is also a non-disclosure state. Found out that Denver is non-disclosure to the county. Whatever Denver County is non-disclosure, but other counties in like Colorado, like Jefferson County, have the ability to do that for you. Maryland, Virginia, Washington, D.C., because of all the politician stuff, that's a non-disclosure area as well. But there are things you can do at the recorder's office or the county clerk that we can talk to in a little bit about that. But the great thing is, Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, Corpus, we've got some huge markets here in Texas, huge counties that have hundreds of people that have used their self-directed IRA to buy a piece of property or lend out of their IRA. All you need really, realistically, is around 200 to 300 contacts. Okay. Now, if you go over to Google and just do a quick search, it's pretty simple to do. Let me just go over here and show. If you click on the ultimate list of self-directed IRA custodians and investors, and you actually Google that, all right, the ultimate list of self-directed IRA custodians and administrators, this is a little bit outdated. There's some companies on here that are no longer in business, but it's still going to give you a huge list of people or companies that are doing this for investors. Okay. Now, am I going to search every name on here on every county? No, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do, and I highly recommend you do this, is look at the state that you're in and look for those that are doing business in your state. Now, everybody can search for Equity Trust. Okay. Equity Trust is the largest self-directed IRA custodian. They got big over the last really 20 years as they were traveling the country on the Ron LeGrand circuit. Ron LeGrand's been around 40 plus years teaching creative real estate. I was fortunate to travel on his kind of circus for a couple years with my two mentors doing mortgages, and we learned a lot about real estate investing from basically 4 years of traveling. I talked about this previously. And I would see him opening 1,500 to 1,000 accounts every time he had an event. If there's that many people there, and literally people would flock to Equity Trust, and that's why it's the biggest self-directed IRA custodian in the country. It's going to be the easiest search you do. And then you're going to look at for your area. Now in Texas, you also have Quest IRA, Quest Trust. That's changed. They've gone out of business, or they actually not gone out of business. They sold to SDIRA Financial, so you can take a look at them. And we'll do some of these searches to do stuff, but the great thing is you don't have to be a rocket science to pull this information. It's pretty simple in a matter of just a few clicks. Now, if I go over here to the website netronline.com, netronline.com, okay? This is a website that pulls together public records all across the country. It's an online directory of all these county offices in a spot where you don't have to try to figure out what your website is for your county appraisal district or the county recorder's office, okay? I'm in this website daily. Not only looking at it for IRA investors, but I'm also looking at it to, pull property taxes, to get property ID numbers, looking to see who the owner is of a property, a mailing address, all sorts of great things on people that own real estate here. And this is what I love. Let me close some of these damn pop-up ads out. Okay. So you go down here, you see where it says begin your search today, and you'll see a thing that says public records, and you'll see online directory. Forget about the Santa Clara General Index or the LA General Index. Go to online directory of public records. That's going to take you over to public records online directory. And since we're here in Texas, we're going to scroll down until you see a map of the United States, right? Green map of all 50 states. All right, now we're in Texas. We're going to click on Texas, all right? And now this pops up Texas Public Records, and you see all the different counties listed here. Anderson, all the way, all 244. You also see this drop-down menu up the top where it says Texas and the county. Now, for the sake of what we're doing today, we're just going to go through the bigger counties in Texas to give you a bit of an idea. Because one thing that I did a few years back is I looked at the top 12 counties, was it 12 or 25? I can't remember. I think it was the top 25 counties. I had a VA go on here, do this, and pull a list of self-directed IRA investors that I'm going to show you how to do. And then we did a skip tracing search where we went and found emails, social media, phone numbers, and we marketed out to those folks. Now, of 2,500 people, I believe we found 400 plus connections. And the first email blast I sent out to, I got a 25% open rate. 100 plus people opened that first email, and they're continuing to drip market. The other 2,000 people or 2,300 people, I still market to. I still would pull out and send out letters and postcard campaigns. That's the only direct mail that we actually really do here. And what we do with our note business, our real estate business, yeah, we do some probate stuff and a little bit of other stuff. But raising capital is about as easy as that. Pulling a list and then sending a postcard, a letter, introducing yourself. Because really, understand, these are educated people. Like I said, you've got 4 things in common with them. 1, they're a real estate investor like you. 2, they're looking for deals. 3, they're looking for passive deals. And 4, they've got money. You can also throw 5 in there because they pulled the trigger. All right. Now, what we have found too is that by doing a lot of research and working with some great custodians and different, roughly about 30 to 40% of all money sitting in one of these Quest IRAs or equity trust is sitting in 0% interest accounts. That means people have rolled money over, but they haven't pulled the trigger on a deal. Okay. Now, what we've also found is that roughly 67 to 70% of all IRA accounts has over 150 grand in it. So if you're looking to raise $1 million in the next 30 to 60 to 90 days, you're literally 200 names away from being able to do that. 200 postcards. Because if you figure 200 postcards or 200 letters, just a quick letter campaign, and you get a 4% open rate, that's 8 people. 8 people times 150,000 is 1.2 million. Okay. Now, okay, let's just say you get 6 out of the 8, 75%. That's still $1 million roughly. 900,000. The other 2 people got 50 grand. You're sitting at $1 million. Okay. So let's pull up here. So we're at Texas. We're going to pick the county. We're going to first go to Harris County, the biggest county in the state of Texas. All right. You're going to scroll down to where it says Harris. And it's going to give you some options. Harris Appraisal District, Harris Clerk, Harris Tax Office, Harris Mapping, Harris Aerials, Harris Local Taxing List, City of Houston, Harris Nature Mapping, and GS. No, you're just going to go to the Harris Appraisal District where it says Go to Data Online. And then now it gives you a property search, right? But you want to change it, not property, to owner name. Okay, owner name, and type in equity trust. And boom, it gives you, let's see how many it gives you. All of them. Well, let's just do 100 and we can figure out the pages. So it gives you at least, let's see here, how many pages? 115 records. Okay, now what it shows you here, if you're listening and can't see this, they're not watching, you have the account number for the property, the business owner name, equity trust company, equity trust custodian, equity trust company, custodian FBO, all this stuff. Then you give the address, and it says over here to the side, commercial or residential. Okay. Now, the great thing about this is you can see up here, it says print. What? Yeah, let's click on the print button. Or if you scroll down there, sometimes there'll be a download button. There's not a download button to this. Okay. So let's go ahead and hit just the print button. Because you could easily take this, you print it to a PDF. Okay. And then you could convert it from a PDF to an Excel. There's all sorts of PDF to Excel, Excel to PDF, simple plugins for you to use to now have this list in a Excel spreadsheet for it. Now let's click on, so it's downloaded here. We'll just hit save. You want to start saving this stuff to your desktop or a file folder. We'll just say Harris County SDIRA, and we're going to type in equity trust. Now, these are all people, basically 115 properties throughout Harris County, who are funded with a IRA investor who use their IRA from equity trust. Now, it's not going to be 150 people. You have some people that use it pretty religiously. If we click on advanced search, let's try something here. We can type in the last name here, equity trust, and do the same thing. Just hit search and see if it gives us any more opportunities to download it in a little bit cleaner list. Nope, it's the same type of search. Some websites will do a download with a mail-in address and the physical. Harris County is not going to do that. But guess what? That's still 115 names with the address on here. You could click on these individually or hire a virtual assistant or somebody to click on here. It's only 115 names. And look at it. And if you scroll down here, you'll be able to see all their information. Okay, so like you can see this on the address for this one, 0 Crawford Road, name, equity trust company, Hoffman, Michael D. Hoffman, Roth IRA, and it gives his address in Pinehurst, Texas. So there's the mailing address. You probably would want to copy paste that over. Excuse me. Right, so that's not a bad one. Okay. Well, let us just forward to the next one. Here, these county websites, you always have to do a little bit digging. So it's not going to let us advance to the next one. So we'll go back up here. Oh, I want to do the refurb. Okay, so we'll just do it again. Equity, trust. And we'll click on the next one. So the next one here is in, this one is located in LaPorte, Texas. And it's just Equity Trust Company. But the mailing address is Scenic Hills Drive, San Antonio, Texas. Okay. So you could still send this and just say Equity Trust Client, Equity Trust Company. All right. But that's 115 for just one name. Now let's take it back and let's see Since Harris was the home of Quest IRA, let's type in Quest IRA and Quest Trust to see. Quest IRA first. No records. Okay, let's try Quest Trust. No records. Oh, wait, we'll take it back. Let's do a search back here. Property search. Type it one more time. So they're very active. Oh, look at that. It sure did pull it up. Quest Trust. So we had 115 equity trust people, equity trust names. And now we have 201 records. So 201 equity trust clients, 201 Quest Trust clients. It's the same thing. Quest Trust Company. Let's click on this one here. The address is in Spring, Texas, and this is Barbara Richardson IRA and her mailing address. Okay, that's pretty groovy there. All right, so 201, 115, that's 316 names just like that. Addresses. Let's go back here and do one more search here. Let's try IRAs, see if they've got any new ones. IRA Financial Trust. There we go. Let's see, IRA Financial, and that will narrow it down a little bit. So IRA Financial, and that gives us 24 records as they slowly move those from Quest IRA over to IRA Financial. Okay, so 24, 115, and 201. That's about 340 right there, folks. 340 with just Harris County. Okay, now the reason we picked Harris County is one of the biggest counties in the country. It's going to have the most. 300 is a pretty good size number. Now let's go over to a different county, shall we? All right, so we'll go back to Netra Online here. We're going to change this from Harris. Let's go to Travis County, which is Austin, Texas. Austin is made up of mostly Travis, but also Williamson County. All right, so we'll go to Travis County. That's the same thing. We don't do to the clerk. We go to the Travis Appraisal District. Go to Data Online there. We're going to click on where it says Property Search. We're going to change it from a property search to an owner search. This is search by account number, address, or owner name. So let's do the same thing. Equity Trust. Hit search. There we go. Now Equity Trust is pulled up. We have 20 per page. Let's change that to 100 per page. So now we have a better fit. So 100, and there's 2 pages. So there's 100 and 121. All right. Now the great thing up here, look at this, is you've got a drop-down button that you can hit export this stuff. All right. Same thing, Equity Trust for the benefit of James Saletti. All right, gives you. So let's see what the download button gives us. Export. I know what it's going to give you, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. So it's downloading it. All right, come on. Let's try it again. So if it doesn't open in protected view, then just go back and hit re-download again to it. All right, so here we go. Sharing the screen in my Excel spreadsheet. So now you have the year, the tax office deed, the owner's name. Most of it's going to be Equity Trust Company, which is fine. You have the property address, legal description, market value, and the appraised value. So once again, it doesn't give you the mailing address, it gives you the property address, okay? And it also gives you, does it give you the zip code so it's some easier way to sort this? Yeah, no, it doesn't. But that's okay. Most of these are going to be in Austin. Anyway, some are going to change up Austin, Del Valley, Pflugerville, Spicewood. But that's 101 on that one, or 100, and then you have another 15 on the second page of the download. Okay. Now let's go back here. That was Equity Trust. Let's go back and do a search for. We did Equity Trust. Let's try Quest IRA or Quest Trust and see what pops up. Quest Trust pops up. There are 24 here in Austin. Let's try Inspira Financial. Inspira, it doesn't show anything here for Inspira. So let's just take Inspira. It helps if you spell it correctly. Okay, so there's 5 that show Inspira Financial. All right, and let's go just try Quest IRA. Okay, so Quest IRA, like I said, pulled up 24 plus the others. So you're looking at about another 40 right there with Quest IRA, equity trust number 1. Okay, now let's go over to let's go to a smaller county like down in Corpus Christi. Now, Corpus Christi is still going to have some out there, so it's still good to do. So let's go down to, we'll change Texas, and let's go to, it's going to be Nueces County down in Corpus Christi. We'll go to Bexar County as well, and then Dallas and Tarrant as well for you guys. I know there's other counties around those, but we'll take a look at these individually. So if we go to Nueces, same thing, Nueces Appraisal District, hit to go to data online. That takes us to the website. You can do a property search, hit search, owner name, and type in equity trust. Hit search. And there you go, it's 22. All right. Same thing, equity trust company custodian, Buddy Lawrence Drive. No appraised yet on this. And guess what? You can download the results. Same thing. So if we click on download the results, and this gives you, all right, this is nice in Nueces. It gives you actually the property address, the legal description. You know, the mailing address is in one column, which is, I mean, sorry, that's the physical address. And if we get over here, now it gives you the mailing address. So it gives you the street number, the street name, and then gives you the subdivision, but it doesn't give you the city state, but most of these are going to be Corpus Christi. All right, there's one in here, it's 0, which doesn't make any sense. Okay, but that's still, when you don't have an address on here, just go back and use the actual property address. Okay. All right. So there you go. There's that one for Nueces County. Now let's go back here. Let's go to a different county. So we did Nueces. Let's go to Bexar County. Let's go over to the Big Bear, Bexar County, if you're not from here. That's San Antonio. Okay. So if we go to Bexar, Bexar County, same thing, Bexar Appraisal District. Go to data online. All right, property search, classic version, property search. We can actually change this to advanced, and it should pop up owner name. There you go. Type in equity trust. Let's search, hit search. And this pulled up 99 owners who have a equity trust self-directed IRA who bought a piece of property. Okay, now you'd have to go ahead and select all these. Well, you will not let me search because I'm probably missing something. Oh, you can export results. Okay. They took away the little bit. They used to allow you to just go ahead and click on them all. All right, so you got to go here and click on each one individually. That takes a few minutes. Okay. But since for the sake of it, to speed it up, so let's hit export results, which allows you to do that. Let's click on the property search results and see what it said. And it is just the, okay, yeah, you're just going to have the property address, the legal description, and the owner's name. Now, the great thing when you have an owner's name, like this one where it says Julio Alfaro IRA, and the property address is in San Antonio, you could do a search on LinkedIn or Facebook by the owner's name to find them directly on their Facebook, and then reach out to them directly on social media. I mean, I still send a postcard and a letter. My first contact with folks is a letter campaign, just simply saying, hey, I saw that you came across via public record that you used your IRA to buy a piece of property, looking for more deals. I'd love to chat with you. And that gets a really good hit rate, like 30% open rate. I'm not joking. On the open rate, when you send it out, it does a really good job. We add some more information to it. I'm not going to give away the secret sauce on that, but it's a great way to get the ball rolling and start. Now, if you can skip traces and find social media, email, LinkedIn profile, then I would just contact them directly through that. Okay. So there you go. You can see what shows up with Bexar County there. So that was another 100 people in Bexar County in San Antonio just from Equity Trust. Let's go back over here and see what they do for Quest. Now, Quest was never kind of big in San Antonio. I mean, they were okay, and they weren't very big down in Oasis. That's why I didn't even bother searching for it there, because you'd only pull up like a couple. So let's type in Quest IRA. Hit search. And this pulled up 23 for Quest IRA, which is great. Okay. And nope, it won't let you select them all, which is okay. Let's go back here. And let's look for SDIRA Financial, which is what Quest became or got sold to. There's only 2 for SDIRA Financial there. But still, there you go. A chunk of people. 99, Equity Trust. Quest got plenty, got a few with Quest, a few with SDIRA. There's another 130, 140. So now you're upwards of about 500 people just in those counties alone. Let's go take it up to our folks in Dallas and Tarrant County. Let's see what's up in there, okay? So we pull up a list here. We go to Dallas County. Not Dallin, but Dallas. And the Dallas clerk. So this is a little bit Dallas Appraisal District. Go to Data Online. You see owner name. Once again, let's type in Equity Trust. We'll hit search. And there are 140 properties that have an Equity Trust client as them. Now it's a smaller list here. Same thing. Property address, city, doesn't give you the zip code, but you could copy paste that. This isn't going to give you, unless I'm missing something. Yeah, they don't let you export this list, which is okay. You just got to copy paste this a few times, and it'll allow you to do that from this website into a Excel file. Okay, so we typed in Equity Trust. Quest IRA, Quest Trust should be pretty big up there because they had a big office. Quest Trust has 37. Let's try Quest IRA. It has 50, so there's 87 plus the, what was it, 100? Let's look at SDIRA Financial. And there's only 4 within SDIRA. So that's still, though, over 100 people there in Dallas. Let's go over to Tarrant County. All right. Yes, you could look at Collier County, and yes, you could look at Collin County. For the sake of it, we're not going to dive into that. You guys can do that on your own. If we go to Tarrant County, same thing, appraisal district, property search. We're just going to, not all categories, we're going to do it by the owner name. Type in Equity Trust, search. So this exported, look at that. There's a lot, okay? It's given us 5 pages of 100 each. And guess what? You can export this. So let's export this, export all to Excel. Boom, shaka laka. Property address, city, the owner's name, and the market value. Okay. It's taking a chance. Oh, it might not be. Okay, so it's opened it up. It might be. Let's see here. All right, let me share my screen now so you guys can see it if you're following along here. All right, so we have Equity Trust. And then it gets into a bunch of names. So it's not all Equity Trust, okay? That's okay. So you can still go up. It's not 500 pages. So if we just go down to Equity Trust, let's just go ahead and expand this. Stretch out this column so we can actually read custodian, Equity Trust custodian. So it literally is going to give us down to 81, 82 names. And that's fine. That's still a chunk there. That's just Equity Trust. Let's go back here and look at, boom, boom, boom. Where would I go? So that was Equity Trust. Let's go into and look at Quest as well. We'll do a new search. And hit search. And the Quest Trust Company, Quest for Homes. So there's Quest Trump Company right there. So there's about 30 people there for Quest. But that's still, guys, this is literally shooting fish in the barrel when it comes to finding people. So, yeah, see, it says results 5,000. We don't need 5,000 results there. There's not that many people there. So if you're in Fort Worth, you're in Dallas, you're in Corpus, you're in Austin, you're in San Antonio, you're in Houston. There's every county in Texas allows you to search this way. Now, some are going to be bigger. If you start going out rural areas, you're not going to find that much stuff. But the thing is you focus on the major counties and the major cities, you're going to find more investors. Just in our time alone here this morning, we found over 500 IRA investors for you to tap into. Okay. If the average person has 50 grand in their IRA account, that's $2.5 million in raised capital for you. Sterling, you love that. That's Sterling James Owen. Our coaching students loved it on hearing me going through that. So that's how you use this. You reach out with a letter and you follow up. You create a drip marketing campaign. And this is where it does make sense to hire a VA or a skip tracing company to go find other information on the borrowers if they are able to show that. Otherwise, like this one here, Dana Vasquez, she's got 3 properties. She would be ideal to reach out to either borrow money or even send deals to. All right. These are all buyers, and they're probably not only investing their own funds. Okay. If we click on this one, we'll just look at what Spindletree Lane. Does it give it our mailing address, property address? Yep. So this one, here's a great thing. So this shows the mailing address. Now this mailing address is Quest or Inspira Financial's mailing address. They are supposed to, when they get correspondence for their clients, they're supposed to scan those documents and email them to their clients. All right. So what I would do is I would look for Juan or Dana Vasquez and see if they have anything else in Houston that they own. Okay. By just going to the same thing, searching by their name on the appraisal district. Okay. Now, some counties like Ohio, if you're in Ohio, like Lucas and Hamilton County and some of the bigger counties, that's Equity Trust's backyard. You can download hundreds of people in just seconds. And it's kind of sometimes like Lucas County, it's a pretty clean spreadsheet for you to do a mail merge off of. Okay. You want to work smarter, not harder. If you were to send 50 letters, 50 postcards a week and did that over 10 weeks, you'd have more people reaching out to you than you could handle. Okay. Now the goal is to give them something to take a look at. You want to direct that letter postcard to a website, a landing page that talks about what you're doing. We often talk about a pitch deck video. What are you focused on? What's your company focused about? What are you about? It's kind of 3 parts: who you are, what your company is, what you do, types of deals you're looking for, and the benefit to them. And you kind of ask. Okay. Now, if you are outside of Texas or in a county that is non-disclosure, you can do this also by going, instead of to the appraisal district, you can also go, we'll just use Tarrant County since we're here. You can also go to the clerk, okay? Like Tarrant County clerk. Now, you can do what's called a deed search for the same thing. Look for equity trust, do a deed search, all right? Because that will show you someone who either owns a property in it or they've lent money on their property. Okay, so you see this, real property. We're going to type in equity trust. Not equity trust, and change the dates to the last year, really. Okay. So let's just change that from January 1st to 2025. So January 1st to October 1st, or October of this year. That's going to give us how many pages? Ooh, quite a bit. Will allow us to, oh, it will. So we'll click on that, and can we export this to cart? Oh, so to export it, it wants you to create an account. And that's okay. Maybe worth you to create the account to do that. All right. Can't remember if Tarrant will charge you. Let's go to a different county. We will go back over here to Bexar County. Actually, let's go to Harris County just so you guys can see. So you're doing a deed search in that county. A deed search, it's going to allow everybody to search by name. Okay. Texas Harris. There we go. Harris clerk. Click on that. But they probably want you to create an account with them, which is A-okay. Let's hit search records. Same thing. Let's date from, let's just do January 1st, 2023 to today's date. 10, 27, 20, 25, right? And we're just going to search in for equity. Actually, we'll do Quest Trust and hit search. Oh, let's try it again. Let's try Quest IRA. Search. Try Inspira Financial. This is a little bit of a tricky. Let's go back here to the main page again. All right, let's try this again. Date, January 23rd. Let's just type in. And we'll try an equity trust because there should be plenty here. We trust. Of course, I could be having it way too big a search date too. Let's change this to 25 and hit search for that. There we go. Oh, I have to change the instrument type. No wonder. Okay, so if you click on there, that's what I got to select. All right, so we're going to click on deed. Deed of trust. D/T. I actually have the right. This, like I said, this little website's a little bit search crazy. So you got to make sure everything matches up like they want. There we go. All right. So if we did a search from January of this year to where we're at now, equity trust, deed of trust search, there you go. You're going to see a bunch of documents. Okay. And all right. So that's just for equity trust. Okay. But you see down here, equity trust custodian. What you have to do is you have to click over here and actually look at the document to find, and that wants you to create a login, which is free to do. There's Ken. So now we're looking at deed, and you can see what's great about this. All right. And they borrowed it, Equity Trust Company Custodian, FBO, David Fuquara, IRA. And then their mailing address for Equity Trust is 1 Equity Way, Westlake, Ohio. Okay. So it's on this property in Dallas, Texas. All right. So the guy's a grantor's mailing address is in Houston, but the property's address or the trustee's mailing address is in Plano. That's the attorney. And the lender equity trust is out of Westlake, Ohio. Or technically, I would say it's also in Harris County there. But that's a little bit more of intensive search. I have to copy, paste, go over and look for the search in the deed record. But here in Texas and other states, there's plenty of other states. Florida's pretty easy to search at. Minnesota is a non-disclosure state, but Missouri's pretty easy. I mean, there's so many. Michigan's relatively pretty easy to search. It's not hard to pull this kind of information. And now you've got hundreds, if not thousands of investors, depending on your search, that you can tap into with a simple drip marketing campaign. Okay. Look for them on LinkedIn, look for them on Facebook, drop them a letter. Letter could be easy to write in 5 minutes. Heck, you could jump into ChatGPT and have ChatGPT create you a letter to send out to IRA investors. You're just going to need to prompt it carefully with what you're doing. I think it's always best if you can try to find IRA investors in your backyard. And since we live here in Texas, it's an easy thing to do for you, most part. If you're investing in other parts of the country, one thing I would do is go look in that county, see how many IRA investors. Equity trust is always going to be the easiest key to look at. You're not going to find Inspira, you're not going to find Quest in some parts of the country just because they've never marketed to those areas. Okay. So keep that in mind. Not that you won't, but it's just going to be a smaller number than 100 or 200 like we were seeing in other parts there for you. But that's a simple free search, guys. It didn't cost me anything. The login to Harris County doesn't cost anything, just a little bit of your time. If you're wanting to do like a download, they may ask you, it may charge you a bit to print that list. but you could print it to PDF and then do a PDF to Excel conversion, and now you've got an Excel spreadsheet that you do a mail merge to. But that's one of the easiest ways to raise capital, is just actually making contact with these self-directed IRA investors. Start the conversation. Know what you're talking about. It would be include an executive summary about what you're doing, maybe some case studies we've used in the past. If you're hosting an event, you're going to be attending like a local RIA club or something in the area, invite them out. If you go to your local RIA club, which you all should do, you can invite them out on the third Tuesday, or have them book a phone call with you on your calendar link so that you can capture their information, or the website that you send them to, capture their IP address so you can pull an email address off some of those IP grabbers. It's one of the things that we love doing. Sterling loves to do it. Cal, a few of my other coaching students love to do that as well for you. So that's it, guys. Literally, you can find IRA investors in just about, I'd say 70, 75, maybe 80% of the country. California, you're not going to do it. You can also, there are some list companies that you can go to and buy a list. That gets a little expensive. Usually the minimum order is $1,000 for a list order like that. Yeah, you're going to have some mail costs with printing stamps and sending that stuff out. Or order a bunch of postcards from Vistaprint or postcardmania.com. Postcard Mania, you can buy a bunch, a couple thousand. Vistaprint would be good for the smaller lists. If you own a property and you already use an IRA investor, send it out to the other IRA investors in that area there. Hey, my investor got 8% or 7% or 6 or 9, or put their 401k, or their IRA to work, make their 50 grand IRA to work, making 8%. How's your IRA doing for you? There's some simple marketing strategies you can go to. Feel free to pick up the phone, book a phone call at talkwithscottcarson.com if you've got some questions. Always encourage you to reach out to me, no matter where in the country you are. If you're here in Texas, hey, let's have a chat. Definitely. Just take action, ladies and gentlemen. There's so much private capital out there. The most important thing I want you to get through your head with this episode, this video, this podcast episode, is understand that there are thousands of IRA investors out there waiting for you to reach out to them with a deal. Okay. Now, how do you secure that? Well, if you're buying a piece of property, you put them on a first lien. If you're buying a note, you have them codenamed on the assignment of mortgage that transfers ownership, or have a lien on another property. There's a variety of ways to secure their interest. No, we're not talking 30 years. Yeah, you might do a short-term loan, 24 to 36 months is about what I would recommend. Find out, talk with them what their IRA is doing. I wouldn't give them 20%, but if you got to go 8 to 12% with an investor and it gets the deal done, hey, that's a great day. It's cheaper because you don't have to jump through the hoops of going through bank financing and all that stuff as well. So hopefully it was valuable for you, ladies and gentlemen. If you love it, let me know. Subscribe, give me a 5-star review. I'd love to see that. And we'll see you at the top. Go take some action, ladies and gentlemen. There's zero excuses now for you not to go out and start raising private capital for deal flow. It just doesn't take a little bit of time, some conversations. And yes, the first few conversations you're going to stumble over, but just get into practice. This is taking all the excuses out why you can't find private capital. They're literally everywhere around you if you just know where to look. And I just showed you where to look. A lot of folks will charge you $1,500 to $2,000 for what I just taught you on this episode. Don't do that. It's free information. Go dive into it. How did I come across it? Because I was a mortgage banker. We learned how to market. I've got some really great experts along the way that taught me how to use county records to find the right individuals. And if you know what you're looking for, there's plenty of deals and plenty of funding out there. We'll see you at the top, everybody. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye. Hey, real estate investors, this is Scott Carson. I'm known across the country as a note guy. For the past 20 years, I've been buying distressed assets, primarily non-performing notes on residential and commercial properties. And if you've ever wanted to learn how to dive in to start buying non-performing notes from banks, hedge funds, or other investors like yourself, then there's no greater place than to get the nuts and bolts, the A to Z, the 1 through 99 place to get started. It is our virtual note buying workshop. We've been teaching this class since 2010 on how to find, fund, flip non-performing notes, how to get banks to call you with deals that you can cherry pick. And no, you don't need millions. No, you don't need a lot of experience to start looking at non-performing deals. We get lists of notes from banks, hedge funds on a regular basis, not 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, but hundreds of deals that we can evaluate and cherry pick. Whether we're looking for performing notes or non-performing notes that we can get reperforming, or non-performing notes you can foreclose and take back, whatever your niche or whatever you would like to focus on, we can help make it happen at the virtual note buying workshop. It's a 3-day class. Our next one is April 18th to the 20th. It's actually online live via Zoom. You get signed up by going to notebuyingfordummies.com. That's notebuyingfordummies.com. Day one is all about how to find these assets. How do you find asset managers? How do you find lists of people to reach out to that you don't have to spend thousands of dollars on postcards or letters that you waste money on? We don't do that. Day two is all about raising capital and marketing and how to create a business that feeds itself, that you can do part-time, 10 hours a week, 5 hours a week, depending on what your focus is. We'll show you a game plan to achieve deal flow coming in on autopilot versus you having to send a ton of money. And also, we'll show you how to raise capital like nobody else does. And then day three is all about the flip. How do we structure deals? How do we evaluate a tape to find the deals from the duds? All right. We'll show you what vendors to use. We'll give you a 200+ page manual, contracts, sample forms, all the stuff that you need to be a lean, mean note buying machine when you get wrapped up. Now, yes, this is live April 18th through the 20th online via Zoom. Get signed up today. We'll send you the replays of the previous online workshop so you can start learning, start evaluating material, and get rock and rolling. And if for some reason you don't like our class, we have a 100% money back guarantee involved with it. If at the end of the first day you don't like what we talk about, you don't think it's impactful, just let me know. We'll refund back your tuition, no questions asked. We don't want your money. We want you to become a note buyer. We want you to become a lien lord. All right. Like I said, if you're tired of dealing with toilet stands and trash outs, you don't want to deal with renters, then becoming a note investor is the path for you. Everybody evolves into a note investor at some point, but there are plenty of opportunities out there. There are millions of non-performing notes that you can cherry pick. No, it's not all junk. It can be small value all the way up to $1 million homes or $1 million apartments for you. So much opportunity is taking place right now in the chaotic market that we see. And who's going to come out on top? Note investors will. So take the time, get signed up today, April 18th to 20th. Go to notebuyingfordummies.com or go to our website, weclosenotes.com, and sign up for the virtual workshop there. As always, get signed up today. We run discounts all the time. The cost of tuition is you plus your partner or spouse. So get signed up today at notebuyingfordummies.com, and we'll see you at the top.